is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Again, at any time, text me with comments or questions, 773-766-5322, or send comments on LinkedIn. Again, if you're the first person to comment on this podcast and text me at 773-766-5322, and you haven't done so in a while, we'll send you the Amazon gift certificate for $100. Thank you. Here are 7 of the stories that we're following today. And let me call this sort of 7 stories and observations we're following today, January 11th, 2024. First, much to the chagrin of the markets, inflation has picked back up in December. People expected it to rise 0.2%. It's risen 0.3%. Unexpected, move in the wrong direction, and we'll see what that does. Second, there's a great story today about the amount of debt that the world has to issue in the next couple months. That number's upwards of $2.1 trillion that has to be refinanced by governments like the United States, Japan, Europe, and others. Now, that's a frightening number, and some people believe that that will push up the yields on debt just because so much has to be issued and there's not enough buyers for all that debt. There's probably enough buyers for it, but at expensive prices. There's a footnote and an asterisk to all this, which is that this concept that keeps on being promoted by our leaders of trade wars works okay in a vacuum, but in a gestalt fashion, we really can't afford trade wars because we need people to buy our products, we need people to buy our debt, and we've got lots of fragility and vulnerability if we can't sell our debt, and the same thing with other countries. It's a different story on trying to avoid being so indebted as a nation. The third story or observation we'll find today is something that's anecdotal. What I've seen over the last few years is as some of my closest colleagues' daughters become part of the professional workforce, some of those kids are so smart compared to their fathers that one of the observations I've come up with, and this might come from watching my friend, Josh, Mark, Ricky, Mark, I mean, so many of them, Howard, they all have so many kids, daughters that are so brilliant, and the fathers don't seem to be that brilliant. So this is anecdotal, but it might be that intellect skips a paternal generation. We've not done a close study on that. Fourth, the fourth story we found today is the markets are falling based on inflation returning and concerns that the Fed won't lower rates as quickly as they can. Fifth story following today, Apple's been downgraded recently by 3 different places. We'll see what happens with Apple. The great concern now is iPhone sales, whether iPhone sales will pick back up or whether essentially Apple's at its 4th quarter in a row of the reduced revenue, declining revenue, and whether or not that's the kind of thing where this reduced revenue, it is going to be long term, or if they can get past that and keep on growing again. Sort of a fascinating situation for Apple. The stock's down to start the year a little bit. iPhone sales are likely to decline more than double digits in China, which is one of their biggest markets. There's also great concern at the end of the day. People don't buy iPhones and replace them as quick as they did. Now they buy them when something's broken or they have to replace them. Another story we're following today, Tesla down about 4%. Oscar Health also down about Oscar Health up about 12% today, defying the odds of those filling that payer space. The last thing I'll note is a tribute and shout out to great salespeople. One of the things, and so many friends fit this category, this ability to be a great salesperson, to go with great execution, whether in the real estate auction business, the securities business, the ability to manage 2 careers at once. I mean, one of the strangest combinations I've ever seen is somebody managing a math career and a tennis career all at the same time, somebody managing to be a magnificent salesperson in the media business, the alcohol business, the law business, the securities business. At the end of the day, like the old great Rush song about salesmen, salespeople, saleswomen, salesmen, whatever business you're in, it could be in the whiskey business for all I care. People that are great at this are great at this. And a lot of that is what makes the wheels of the economy go, the grease that grooves the economy. So today's shout out goes to the great salespeople that are out there, men or women, and what you do to help grease and make the economy go. Just so important. And when I see Grease. I mean, just that great mix of personal skills and intelligence and handling of people and taking care of customer problems and helping to make the economy go. So a great shout out today to salespeople of all types. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. P.S. If you're bored, buy our book, Blocking and Tackling 60 Keys to Building a Business and Managing Your Money. Thank you very much for listening.